Guys, what if I told you that your whole life could change just by one small habit, and that habit starts every single morning? Would you believe me? The truth is, the most successful people in the world don't grind at night. They get up early in the morning. While everyone else is still asleep, they're already working towards their dreams. That's what creates the difference between an ordinary person and an extraordinary one. Just imagine if every morning you started with a clear purpose. If your morning routine if you develop strong focus and become unstoppable, just imagine what level your entire life could reach. In this video, you'll learn those powerful morning habits that will skyrocket your productivity, reprogram your mindset, and put you on a success path that you won't want to step off. You'll discover how small morning routines can completely transform who you are, how to turn laziness into discipline, and how to start every day with a winning mindset. But remember, think of this not just as information, but as the start of a transformation. So make sure you watch the whole video. Every moment will take your mindset to a whole new level. If you really want to change your life, like this video now. Write in the comments, "I will change," and don't forget to subscribe to the Book Boss channel. Because here, you don't just get videos, you get blueprints for your new life. Now get ready, because your next morning is about to change your entire life. It's 5 a.m. outside. It's a bit chilly. Silence is all around, and in that silence, there are two kinds of people. One group is still deep asleep, the other is out there building their lives. That's the only difference. One hit the snooze button, the other woke themselves up. And that small choice slowly shapes the entire direction of their lives. Because the truth is, your day is basically set before your 9 a.m. work starts. That first hour, when your mind is fresh, distractions are low, and the world is still moving slow, it's exactly then that you either win over yourself or lose to yourself. Give in to your weaknesses. And that's exactly the moment the world's top performers take most seriously. Books like the 5 a.m. Club keep hammering the same point. Those who control their morning control their life. Because morning isn't just a time of day. It's a psychological battlefield where your discipline, willpower, and future all get tested at once. Just imagine if your morning starts without any plan, grabbing your phone, scrolling through social media, letting your thoughts run wild. If you start your day reacting right away, your brain goes on autopilot. Then you don't control the day controls you. But if you begin your morning with a purpose, take some time for yourself, visualize your goals, and activate your body, your mind starts working on a completely different frequency. That's why leaders like Tim Cook wake up at 4 a.m. and people like Elon Musk make their most important decisions early in the morning. Because they know this is that golden time when your mind is the clearest. But the big question is, if it's so powerful, why doesn't everyone take advantage of it? The answer's a bit uncomfortable. Waking up in the morning isn't easy. Your mind tells you, just 10 more minutes, and your body resists too. Slowly, that resistance turns into a habit. But those who break through that barrier create amazing results in their lives, because they understand that discipline doesn't mean waiting to feel motivated. It means getting the job done even when you don't feel like it. And that's where your success begins. Your true identity. Every morning when the alarm rings, you're faced with two choices. Either you take a step towards your dreams or you stay stuck in the same place. It might seem like a small decision, but its impact is huge, because success isn't one big event, it's the sum of small decisions, and the morning is the strongest place to start making those decisions. But that's just the beginning. The real game is still ahead. In the next part, you'll learn that just waking up early isn't enough. The real secret is hidden in the routine that can completely transform your entire life. It can transform you. And that's exactly what's starting to come out now. Have you ever noticed how some people wake up in the morning without any struggle? Their mind is sharp, their decisions clear. Meanwhile, others feel hesitant, tired, and unfocused at the very same time. Is it just a matter of discipline, or is there a deeper science behind it? The truth is, your morning isn't driven by willpower alone. It's controlled by a powerful mix of your brain's makeup, your body clock, and your hormones. And those who understand this science, they literally hack their day. Because in the morning, your brain is in a special state called the alpha state. At this time, your mind is the most creative, the most receptive, and the easiest to program. This is when you can easily align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. But most people waste this golden time. They grab their phone, check notifications, flood their mind with outside noise, and quietly end up losing all their energy for the day. While high performers, they protect this time because they know this their unfair advantage. The book Atomic Habits also says that habits aren't just actions. They actually rewire the neural pathways in your brain. When you follow a certain routine every morning, your brain makes it automatic. Gradually, you don't have to struggle with discipline anymore. It just becomes who you are. Imagine if your brain naturally motivated you to get up in the morning. What if focus and clarity just came naturally to you?
How productive you can get really depends on your morning routine. That's why leaders like Jeff Bezos guard their mornings carefully. They know the first few hours are prime time for making their most important decisions, because decision fatigue is at its lowest and mental clarity is at its highest. But here's the catch. Just waking up early or sticking to a routine isn't enough. If you start your day with the wrong stuff, like stress, negativity, or distractions, that's what will grow and spread throughout your entire day.
It's because whatever your brain takes in during the morning sets the tone for your entire day. So if you don't start your mornings the right way, you're unknowingly messing up your whole day. This is the hidden trap where most people get stuck. They work hard but not in the right direction, and the result is frustration, doubt, and slow progress. But those who understand this science purposely structure their mornings, and for them, success isn't a struggle, it just becomes a predictable outcome. That's because they train their brains. They've made their habits automatic. They've turned their mornings into a powerful system. But now the biggest question is, if the science is so clear, how do you actually apply it in your own life? Because knowledge only becomes power when you put it into action. And that's exactly what the next part is going to show. How small morning wins start changing your entire being. And that's where the real transformation begins. Imagine if every morning you just take a tiny step. So small you might think it won't make much difference. But if you keep taking that small step every single day, it can change the direction of your whole life. Sounds simple, right? Almost insignificant. But that's where the real power lies. Because life never changes with one big decision. It changes with those little choices we often ignore. And morning is the moment when these small decisions are the strongest. Because your mind is fresh then, there are fewer distractions, and your willpower is at its strongest. This is the moment where you can get just 1% better or 1% worse. And it's this 1% that bit by bit shapes who you are. Atomic Habits talks about a powerful idea. If you improve just 1% every day, in a year you'll be 37 times better. But if you get 1% worse every day, over time you'll end up close to zero. The difference is that this change doesn't show up instantly. It builds quietly. Things build up over time. Then one day, suddenly, it all explodes. That's why some people seem to succeed overnight. But actually, they've been stacking small wins every morning for years. Imagine you wake up and spend just 5 minutes thinking about your goals, 10 minutes moving your body, and 15 minutes learning something new. It's not an extraordinary routine, but these little wins send a signal to your brain. I'm in control. And slowly that control turns into confidence. Confidence changes how you work, and your work changes your results. But the biggest part here is what? Consistency. Because small habits stack up over time. There's no excitement in them, no instant reward either. And that's where most people give up. They think motivation won't come until they see big results. But the truth is the opposite. Motivation doesn't come from results, it comes from consistency. And consistency is built through small wins. Every morning when you keep a small promise to yourself, no matter how tiny, your brain starts to build trust. And that trust changes how you see yourself. You start seeing yourself as a disciplined, focused, and strong person, and that becomes your reality. But if every morning you break the promises you made to yourself, hit snooze, and get lost in distractions, your brain gets the message that you can't trust yourself, and that doubt weakens you from the inside. So this 1% rule isn't just about habit, it's about respect for yourself and who you are. Every morning is a chance to prove to yourself that you can do better and be better. But this game needs patience. It asks you to give up instant gratification. And that's where the real ones stand out. Because they understand that success never comes with a bang. Success comes quietly. It's built silently every morning. And one day it gets so strong that the world can't ignore it anymore. But the question is, if small wins are this powerful, then how do the most successful people in the world shape their mornings? What do they do that sets them apart from the rest? Because the pattern is the same. But execution is what really makes the difference. And now this secret is coming to light, where the morning routine isn't just a habit but a high-performance ritual. The truth is a bit uncomfortable but powerful. The world's most successful people aren't more talented than us. They only have 24 hours in a day too. The only difference is how they use their first 2 hours. And those 2 hours set their entire life apart. Imagine a routine that slowly lifts you from ordinary to elite. No magic involved. No shortcuts. Just a well-structured morning routine that gets your mind, body, and focus all fired up together. This is that secret system high achievers swear by. And it's so simple that anyone can do it. But it's disciplined enough that not everyone actually does. The first rule of the morning? Silence. Because when the world is quiet, your mind is at its clearest. Oprah Winfrey starts her morning with meditation to keep her mind centered and calm. Because if your mind is all over the place first thing in the morning, the whole day follows suit. Life goes on in chaos. Then comes movement. Because if you don't get your body moving, your mind can't perform at its best. Tony Robbins does intense physical activity every morning. That's because he knows energy doesn't just appear, it has to be created. And that process starts first thing in the morning. But the real game begins when these people focus fully on their goals, shutting out all distractions. This is the moment where ideas are born, decisions are made, and the future is built.
People like Elon Musk, they save their mornings for deep work, because they know that's when their brain is at its strongest. But here's the thing, these people don't follow random routines. Every step they take is intentional. There's a purpose behind every action. They don't grab their phones first thing in the morning, because they know if they start the day on someone else's agenda, their own priorities will get pushed aside. They invest in themselves first, then handle the world. And that mindset is what sets them apart. But
Hearing all this, a question comes up. Do you really have to follow this exact routine? Wake up at 4 a.m., do intense workouts, meditate for hours on end? The answer is no. Because success isn't found in any specific routine. Success lies in the purpose that shapes how you start your morning. High performers aren't here for us to copy them. They're here to inspire us. The real goal isn't to become like them. The real goal is to become the best version of yourself. But one thing is common among all of them, whether it's Jeff Bezos or someone else. These people all don't take your mornings lightly. They know that if you win the morning, you basically win the whole day. But if you lose the morning, the entire day can turn into a struggle. That's why they guard their mornings like someone protecting a hidden treasure. Because that's the time when quietly their future is being built. But there's a hidden danger too. If you don't understand your own reality and just start copying someone else's routine, you'll burn out really fast. And then comes the same old frustration, the same doubt, this isn't for me. So what you need now is a smart shift. Something like that. Here's a method that helps you build your own strong morning routine instead of just following someone else's. This is the moment where real transformation begins. Because from now on, you won't just be inspired, you'll actually take action. But that action will be in the right direction. Listen to this tough truth. Your morning isn't bad, your habits are. And until you change those habits, your life won't change either. What you repeat every morning slowly becomes who you are. And the most dangerous part is that most bad habits feel comfy to us. Sleeping in late, scrolling through your phone right after waking up, saying, I'll start tomorrow, all these seem harmless. But these little patterns add up and hold back your full potential. Imagine promising yourself every morning that you'll wake up early tomorrow. But when the alarm goes off, your hand automatically hits the snooze button. In that moment, you're not just choosing 5 more minutes of sleep, you're pushing your future back. And this cycle keeps repeating day after day, week after week, month after month. Then one day you realize nothing's changed. That's because you haven't changed what you do. But now things are about to be different. Breaking a habit isn't about willpower, it's a system. And this system is so simple that if you follow it, your mornings will naturally become stronger. First, you need to recognize your current habits, because what you don't see, you can't change. Be honest with yourself. How do you spend the first 30 minutes of your morning? Are you in control or are you trapped by distractions? That awareness is the key. First step. Next comes substitution, because you can't just quit a habit completely. You can only replace it. So if you find yourself picking up your phone right after waking up, don't try to stop completely. Instead, put a small positive action in its place, like taking 2 deep breaths or journaling for 5 minutes. Your brain will slowly start to accept this new pattern. And this is where the path to change begins. Atomic Habits focuses on this same idea. Small changes lead to big transformations. But the most important step here is set up your environment right, because your surroundings trigger your habits. If your phone is within reach, you're going to use it. But if you put your alarm clock far away, you have to get up to turn it off. These little changes control your behavior and build discipline without any struggle. Imagine getting everything ready the night before. Clothes laid out, water within reach, phone out of sight, a clear plan. In the morning, you won't have to make any decisions, and that's exactly what saves you from decision fatigue. But there's also a psychological trick here that shouldn't be ignored. Rewards. Because your brain won't stick with any habit long-term without a reward. That's why it's important to give yourself some credit after every small win. That recognition tells your brain, hey, this is right, and then it wants to repeat the pattern. Slowly, these habits become automatic and you don't have to push yourself anymore. But the biggest challenge still remains, consistency. At first, you're excited, motivation is high, but after a few days, that old laziness starts creeping back in again. And this is where most people give up. They think maybe this isn't for me. But the truth is, this struggle comes to everyone's life. The only difference is that some people stop while others keep moving forward. Because they know real change takes time, and patience becomes their greatest strength. Every morning is a new battle with your old habits. But every time you push through, no matter how small the step, you're building a new version of yourself. A version that, disciplined, focused, and unstoppable. But there's still a piece missing. There's one shift that will completely change the way you think. Because habits aren't just actions, they're a reflection of your mindset. And until your mindset changes, your habits won't stick. Imagine you wake up every morning, follow your routine, and work on improving your habits. Yet deep down there's this quiet voice that whispers, can I really change? That silent doubt is the most dangerous thing. Habits might form from the outside, but mindset breaks or builds from within. No routine will stick in the long run until your mindset is right. The real battle isn't with the alarm clock, it's with your own brain.
Your brain always wants to keep you in your comfort zone. It pushes you to do what you've always done. And when you try to do something new, like waking up early or building discipline, that same brain creates obstacles. It gives you excuses like, I'm tired today, I'll start tomorrow. And if you listen to that voice,
If you don't learn to recognize it, you'll keep losing every time. But the moment you realize that this obstacle isn't your enemy, but just a normal reaction, that's when the game starts to change. Because now you won't just react, you'll choose consciously. And that's the mindset shift. Imagine every morning when your alarm goes off, you ask yourself a simple question. Who do I want to be today? That question wakes up your identity, and your identity controls what you do. There's a powerful idea here, growth mindset, where you believe that you can change, improve, and go beyond your limits. Once this belief sinks in deep, your mornings stop being just routines. They turn into a tool to transform yourself. But here's another layer, visualization, because your brain can't really tell the difference between imagination and reality. If every morning you spend a few minutes clearly imagining your goals and feeling what your future life is like, your brain starts accepting it as real, and then you begin to work towards making it happen. They start doing it. That's why top athletes and performers make visualization a part of their routine, because they know success begins in the mind before it happens in real life. But this mindset shift isn't just about thinking positive. It's about brutal honesty, recognizing your own excuses, understanding your patterns, and believing in breaking them. Because until you're honest with yourself, no change will last. It'll just stay on the surface. And this is where most people fool themselves. They think, I'm trying, but deep down, they keep falling into the same old patterns over and over again. That's why every morning, you've got to make a promise to yourself. No matter what, don't compromise your standards, because your standards define who you are, and your identity shapes your destiny. But here's the catch. Once you change your mindset, it doesn't stick automatically. You have to reinforce it every single day. You need to train it daily. Just like you train your muscles, you've got to train your mind too. And morning is the perfect time for that. The gym, the place where you can shape your thoughts, strengthen your beliefs, and design your future. Imagine waking up 1 year from now, no alarm needed. Your mind is clear, your body full of energy. And the best part, you trust yourself. Because now you've become the person who keeps the promise they make to themselves every morning. But this future won't just happen on its own. You have to design it intentionally and consciously. Because if you don't start your morning your way, the world will shape it for you. And then you'll end up becoming whatever the situation forces you to be. So now's the time to take control, to become the architect of your own morning. Imagine what your perfect morning looks like. Is it calm and focused, or full of high energy and productivity? There's no right answer, because your life is unpredictable. Your goals are unpredictable, so your morning routine should be flexible too. But one thing is clear for everyone. If you don't know this, if you don't know what you need, you'll never be able to get it. So the first step is to figure out what your morning goal is. Do you want to improve your health, sharpen your mind, or focus deeply on your goals? Because your purpose shows you the way, and your direction creates the results. But here's where most people mess up. They get caught up trying to make a perfect routine and end up with a complicated schedule. 10 habits, too much work, and soon enough, burnout, frustration, and then back to the old patterns. So remember, simplicity is the real power. Something like that. Create a routine that lasts and naturally fits your lifestyle. Consistency beats perfection every time. Imagine starting your morning with just 3 things: mind, body, and focus. A few minutes of silence or meditation, some physical movement, and then working on your most important goal. It's that simple. But it's so powerful that over time, it can totally transform your life. The book, The Miracle Morning, is all about this same idea. When you design your mornings intentionally, your life will naturally improve.
Get started. But along with setting up a routine, there's one more thing that's super important: flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Not every day will be the same, and if you're too strict, even a small disruption can completely throw off your whole routine. So build your system to adapt, so no matter what happens, you can keep being consistent. The biggest mindset shift is to stop seeing your routine as just a task and start seeing it as part of who you are. It's not just about what I do, but who I am. When you see yourself as a disciplined, focused, and unstoppable person, when you start looking at things this way, your tasks naturally begin to fall into place. Gradually, your mornings get easier. No struggle, no force, just a natural flow. And that's when success starts to feel natural too. But remember, this journey never really ends. Every morning is a new chance to improve yourself, prove yourself, and push past your limits. The question isn't whether your morning routine is perfect, it's whether you're getting a little better each day. Because in the end, your mornings shape your life. It's up to you now. How are you going to start your next morning? Because that's what's going to shape your whole story. Enjoyed the video? Subscribe to our channel and join our community for more great videos.